Yeah, so once you have logged in, you can see that there are 4 modules, right? Overview, benchmarking, collaboration, and trends. Okay, so whatever I have not covered in the training today, if you think that you want to find out more, there are webinars here that you can click and actually find out more about SciVal. Okay, and if you are interested in the metrics, how are the metrics calculated? We do have a metrics guidebook here, right? So we have introduction, we have guidebooks as well. Right, so if you want to find out more, you can actually download the whole guidebook. I will first go into overview module. This module allows you to find out what's happening around the world, what's happening in Thailand, what's happening within a university, right? So all these data are actually from Scopus. So what you see here is actually from Scopus. I will first go into country. You may want to try to click country. And then we do have a world profile, right? So you can see, you can search for any country you are interested in analyzing. You can also look at the world profile, right? So this actually contains data from all the publications around the world. We'll just wait for it to load. Yeah. Okay, so this is the world profile. It allows you to find out what's happening around the world, right? You can even drill down to a particular subject area. So the default classification that we use is all science journal classification, right? So it's broken down into 27 main subject areas, right? And 339 subdisciplines, right? So if you want to find out in particular, let's say I want to filter by engineering, for example, right? It will actually filter papers categorized as engineering. So you can see for engineering in the period 2017 to 2022, right, 4.4 million papers published, 29 million citations. So we have a few weighted citation impact here. It basically measures the influence of the papers, right? So what we do is that we will actually pull out all the papers categorized as engineering, and then we look at the type of publication, whether it's a journal article or conference paper, and then the year. So we will pull out within Scopus engineering, let's say 2020, let's say conference proceeding, right? Then we will calculate the average number of citations. So if my paper has 10 citations, right, and the world average is 5, then my field weighted citation impact will be 2. So it is a quick way to understand whether your papers are cited more than your peers in the same subject area or field. Okay. And if you are interested in rankings, let's say for QS and times higher, right, you can also change the classification, right? So I can actually change it to QS or times higher. And you can see that the classification is a little bit different. Right, you can see, so this is how times higher classify the journals. So moving down, you can actually see the topics which are prominent. So basically, these are topics with a lot of momentum, basically, which means that around the whole world, many researchers are reading and actually producing papers in these areas. This is what we call topics of prominence. And you are able to analyze further. So let's say, for example, you are interested in batteries, for example, right? You want to find out around the whole world, who are the researchers who are really prominent in research related to batteries, right? If you want to do collaboration, you want to find out who they are, right? You can analyze in more detail. So this is actually a topic cluster. The lowest level is a topic. So many topics will make up a topic cluster, right? Because we feel that over the years, we receive feedback from our users that subject area is too broad, right? They are not able, it's too general. That's why we came up with topics and topic clusters. Right, so for batteries, you can see that total 177 papers produced. Right, so these are some of the keywords. These are some of the active institutions around the world that produces papers in batteries, the countries they are from, right? Who are the active authors and where they publish their papers. So this will be very useful for researchers. If you are doing research related to batteries, you also want to find out where I can publish my papers and which are the journals I can read. Right, so this is the world profile. If you want to have a look at what's happening in Thailand, you can also filter by the country. Right, so this is Thailand's profile over the past 5 years. If you want to change the date range, you can also do so by clicking on the predefined date range. Right, so for the past 5 years, Thailand has produced about 131,000 papers with 899,000 citations. So the field-weighted citation impact is 0.99. So typically across all the papers produced by Thailand, it is about 1% less cited than the world average. World average is 1. So anything above 1 means you are producing papers that are highly cited, okay? And you have about 6.9 citations per publication. So you can see this would be the strength of Thailand, right? So you produce a lot of papers categorized as medicine. And these are the top topic clusters trending in Thailand, right? You can, at the country level, you can analyze this at the country level. So let's say, for example, I want to find out for solar cells, right? This would be the number of papers produced, the citation count, and the field-weighted citation impact, right? You can also find out which are the institutions that are active in this topic cluster. Right, so you can see for this particular topic cluster, Chiang Mai University produces a lot in this area, right? So it is good for your researchers if you want to find out within the country who I can collaborate with as well. Right, so NSTDA, PSU, Chula, they all produce a lot of papers under solar cells. And if you are interested in any of these information that you see here, right? So let's say, for example, you want to send this to your department, right? You can actually create a report using SciVal. So all you have to do, just add to reporting. You can just add to reporting and then save it. And these are the performance indicators, right? So you can see that for Thailand, you do about averagely across the country, you do about 42.3% international collaboration, right? And about 18.8% of your publications are in the top journal percentiles. If we go by institutions, it will show you the institutions that produces the most papers, right? So right at the top, you can see Mahidol University produces the most number of papers, followed by Chula and Chiang Mai. And this would be their field-weighted citation impact, meaning that for Mahidol University, their papers are 11% more cited than the world average. You can also filter by subject areas, right? So let's say if I'm interested in computer science, right? So which universities in Thailand produces a lot? So you can see this would be the number, right? Lakrabang, Chula, Kim Ong Kut, North Bangkok, right? So these are the universities that produce a lot, and this would be the field-weighted citation impact. Okay. And if I think I like this information here, I want to send it to my department, so I can actually add it to reporting as well. You can also have the option to export the information, right? So you can export to CSV or XLS. I can also have a look at the authors. So for computer science, you can see that these are some of the authors in Thailand that contributed the most number of papers. Right? So this person here has 167 papers, page index of 46. So they actually produces quite a lot. So in Scopus, if you publish a paper, there will automatically be an author profile created, right? So you want to find out more about this person, you can click on the name and then view it in Scopus. So I want to find out who this person is, right? It will bring me to Scopus. And then this would be the person's author profile, right? So you can see that this person is actually working in King Nongkut, Tomburi, KMUTT, right? 12,000 citations, page index of 47, and these are the papers that he or she has produced. Right, so the two platforms work together. Right, so you can drill down further into their profile.
So if you want to find the specific name of the guys, I can find the specific name of the
Yes, you can. Okay, there are two ways of doing it, right? So you can actually do it in Scopus first. Right, in Scopus, you have the author search. Right, so you just have to key in the last name and the first name. And then if you know the name of the university, you can add in the affiliation. Okay. In SciVal, you can also do that, right? So you go to researchers and groups. Then you can define a new researcher. So just have to find their name, last name, first name, and affiliation. So by going into the Publish tab, you can see that this will show you the trend for computer science over the past 5 years. Okay, so it's actually increasing year on year. We also have a breakdown by SDGs and subject area, right? So I think many universities are looking at the UN Sustainable Development Goals, right? So we do have a breakdown for that. Right, so these are the different SDGs for all the papers produced by researchers in Thailand. Right, you can see that Thailand produces the most for SDG 3, good health and well-being. right? So you can also analyze within Thailand, right? So we produce a lot in SDG 3. So which are the universities and who are the researchers? Right, so you can see. And if you're interested in, okay, so SDG 3, so these are the universities that produce papers related to SDG 3. And if you think that, you want this to appear in a report, just add to reporting and save it. So same thing, you can also view the Scopus source, where these papers are being published. Right, you can see, so many papers published by researchers in Thailand, they actually published in this particular journal, right? So Journal of Medical Association of Thailand. Okay, so this is Thailand's profile. There are many tabs available for you to click, right? So you can actually explore yourself. You will find out for Thailand, which are the top topics and topic clusters, right? And analyze them further. I will next move on to analyzing your own institution, right? So your own university. I think there was a request to create all the Raja Mangalas in SciVal. It has been done, just that it needs about 1 to 2 weeks to be updated in the system. So when you log in 1 to 2 weeks later, you will be able to search for all the Raja Mangalas. So for analyzing universities, you just click on this icon here, and then you can do a search, right? So you can see when I do a search for Raja Mangala, these are some of the universities that has been created, right? But just wait for another 2 weeks, then all the Raja Mangalas will be created and updated in SciVal. So this would be your university's profile, right? Okay, can everybody try to look for your university and just select the profile so that you can analyze your own university, right? Just go to this icon here and search for Raja Mangala University of Technology, Thanyapuri. Right, so when you look at your profile, you can see the papers you have produced, right? The citation count and the field-weighted citation impact. And most of your papers are in journals categorized as engineering, right? So 36% of your papers. And these are some of the trending topics or topic clusters, right, within RMUTT. Right, and if you want to analyze, who within RMUTT are contributing to this number of papers, right? So just analyze at the institutional level, right? Total of 87 papers. These are some of the key phrases, right? And then you can find out who are the authors. All right, so these are some of the authors that contributed to this particular topic cluster, fixed point theorem, right? And same thing, if you want to find out who this author is, right, you can just click on their names. Oh. Yeah, I think just now I heard a lot about rankings, QS, and times higher, right? So just take note about the classification, right? You can change it to whatever you want to see. All right, so if you want to find out within Thailand, right, for a particular subject area under QS, right? So who are the top universities, right? So same thing, you can just go at the country level, right? So just go to country and select Thailand. Go to Thailand's profile, right? And then you can change the classification, right? So let's say I change it to QS. And I filter by the subject area. So because RMUTT produces a lot of papers under engineering. So what I'll do is I will just filter by engineering. Right. And I can actually find out for engineering and technology, right, which are some of the universities in Thailand that contributed a lot, right? So you can actually look at their research output, number of papers they have produced. You can also look at their field-weighted citation impact. Okay, so this is how you do your analysis. So RMUTT is actually 17, right, in Thailand, producing papers related to engineering and technology. Okay. And same thing, if I want to send this to my department, I just have to add this to reporting. So for your university profile, you can also look at the trend, right? So how many papers are you producing every year? Is it increasing, right? So just go to publish, and then overall, you will be able to see the breakdown of papers year on year. Right, so you can see since 2017, every year you are actually publishing more and more papers, right? and this would be your performance indicator. So about 111 papers are being published in the top 10% most cited. And about 141 papers, right, they are published in top journal percentiles. Same thing, you are able to analyze based on SDGs as well, right? So if you have problems identifying, right? So SciVal has actually done it for you. So this would be for RMUTT, right? So you can see that you actually produce the most number of papers under SDG 7. Do you have problems going to this tab, right? So it's under SDG and under your university profile. And if you want to analyze, right? So, you know, my field weighted citation impact is actually 0.8, right? So what contributed to that field weighted citation impact, right? You can look at it by looking at the publications broken down by subject area. So this would be the breakdown of your papers by the different subject areas, right? And then the field weighted citation impact is here. So overall for Rajamangala, Tanyaburi, your field weighted citation impact is 0.89, right? But there are some certain subject areas like natural sciences, you are actually cited more than the world average. However, right, if you look at arts and humanities and social sciences, right, so these are the weaker subject areas. You can even click to look at the breakdown of the subdisciplines, right? So find out what happened and what went wrong. Right, so you can see that some of these papers here are actually receiving a lot of citations, right? So for these two papers, 6.2, right? So 6 times more than the world average. And of course, if you want to find out more, right, you can actually click on the link and it will show you the paper, right? So these two papers, it's actually this. So these two papers here, they are being produced by these authors, right, from RMITT, are getting more than the world average. And these are conference proceedings, I believe. Okay, so this is how you analyze by the different subject area under QS. Same as the country level, you are able to view, right? So which are the top authors, meaning that which are the authors that produces the most number of papers within RMUTT. Right, so these are some of the authors. And same thing, if you want to analyze the authors, just click on the name. And then you can view their profile in Scopus. Right, so this will be the author and then the relevant author information. There are other tabs available also, right? So we have pattern information, right? So if you are interested to find out whether there are any patterns that are citing your papers, you can go to the pattern impact, right? So currently there is one pattern that is citing the papers produced by RMBTT, right? So these are the 5 major pattern offices that we collect data from. We also have media impact, right? So if you think that this information is useful, right? So we have both print and online, right? So there are 19 papers that are being mentioned by media, right? You can view the list of media outlets, right? So these are some of the media outlets that mention the papers produced by your university. Okay. Anybody has any questions? No questions, I will move on to the next module. Okay, if not, then I'll move on to benchmarking, right? So right at the top, you just click on the benchmarking link here, and it will bring you to the benchmarking module. Just feel free to play around with this, right? So you can actually add the universities that you want to benchmark. So in this case, I've added the Rajamangalas that have been created, right? So you can see I've added all these Rajamangalas. So within the benchmarking module, you actually are able to select the date range, right? So I can actually look at the trend since 1996, right? Right up to 2022. So you can see these would be the x-axis is actually the year of the publication. The y would be the number of papers produced, right? So you can see that throughout the years, right, this would be the trend. You can also look at the color coding and change it if you want. So when you do a benchmark, you can see Rajamangala Isan is actually producing as many papers as your university right here, right? So this is the chart. You can actually change the metrics, right? So just by clicking on the scholarly output, right? So if you want to benchmark by citations, you can change it to citation count, right? You can exclude self-citations here. Right? Let me do it again. Click on the y-axis that you want to change, right? And then select the metrics that you want to benchmark, right? You can select citation count, and then you can exclude self-citations, right? And then you select the publication type that you want to benchmark, right? So if I want to look at citations from journal articles only, and I exclude self-citations, this would be the chart. If you think this chart is complicated, you can also look at it from a table perspective, right? So this is how it looks like. And same thing, within the benchmarking module, you can select by subject area, right? So if I want to look at chemical engineering or electrical, this is how it looks like by citation count. Same thing, I can add this to reporting or export the data. Okay, so do play around with this. And you can select all these different metrics available, right? So even for scholarly output, you can actually choose to include only certain publication types you want to analyze. So besides benchmarking at the university level, you can also benchmark researchers, right? So all you have to do is define the researcher, and then you can benchmark the different researchers. So moving forward, I think my consultant will work with your university to create your hierarchy, right? So how many people in a particular department in a faculty. So you are able to benchmark different departments within RMUTT, right? Okay, so you can see here that we have ranking metrics, right? So currently it's empty. I do believe, I'm not too sure whether RMUTT has registered with Times Higher, right? We do have, once you have all the information, you are able to go into the ranking metrics and then have a look at the chart. So you can see this is World University Rankings by Times Higher Education. So maybe you can try to add all the Raja Mangala. So whatever that you have added to your list is tagged to a user ID. So only whatever you have added, when you log in again, you'll be able to see the information, right? So if another person, adds different stuff into their profile, they see different things, right? That's why we require you to register your ID. So what Chiang Mai University also subscribes to SciVal. So what they actually use this for is to benchmark the researchers. I think this is more for promotion purposes. So what they do is that they add in the researcher names, and then they look at their H index, and then they add in the number of citations, and then the number of papers they have produced, right? So it's very easy, just have to add additional metrics here. Right, so what I've added here is the H5 index, right? So you can see this will be the H5 index for the different universities. Okay, any questions? So as I mentioned earlier, right? So all these metrics, if you have any questions or you're interested to find out more about these metrics, how they are being calculated, just go to the metrics guidebook. Download the metrics guidebook at the top. Right, so you can see a question mark, click on it, and then we have a research metrics guidebook. Right, so they actually tell you how these different metrics are being captured and calculated. We also have Times Higher and QS ranking data guidebook, right? So do have a look at this. Okay, so this would be the benchmarking module, right? So you can benchmark researchers, you can benchmark groups of researchers, or you can benchmark universities against universities. You can also do so at the country level, right? So let's say if I'm interested to find out within Southeast Asia, so which are the countries that are producing the most number of papers, right? So I just have to deselect the institutions, right? So I just deselect. And then I select the countries, right? So what I've done here is I have selected a few countries, right, to analyze the research output. Right, so you can see within Southeast Asia, right? So this is how it looks like, right, over the years. So this is Malaysia. Currently, Malaysia produces the most number of papers within Southeast Asia, followed by Indonesia, right? So you can see that Indonesia over the years, since 2018, right, they have overtaken Singapore to produce the most number of papers. Right, so this is how it looks like in our region. And same thing, you can filter by subject area if you are interested in a particular subject area or field. Okay, so this is the benchmarking module, quite straightforward. So next will be the collaboration module, right? So same thing, click on the collaboration link at the top. So for this module, it actually looks at your current collaboration, right? So which are the universities that you are collaborating with, and also potentially who else you can work with. So for RMUTT, right? So you collaborate the most with KMUTT, followed by Kazakhstan and this China Medical University, Taichung. Right? So these are all the papers that are being produced. And of course, if you want to analyze all these papers, just click on the blue link, and then you can save this as a publication set. Right? So you want to analyze all the papers that you have collaborated with this particular university. Right? I'll do it again. Right? Within the collaboration module, you can actually sort it in ascending or descending order. Right? So if I want to analyze, right? So all these papers here with this university, Taichung University, 70 papers, field-rated citation impact of 3.48, right? So I want to analyze who are the authors, what are these papers? Just click on the papers here. It will show you all the papers, and then you can have this option to save it as a publication set. Right, so once you have saved this publication set, you can go back to the overview module. And analyze the publication set that you have just saved, right? You can see, so these are all the papers that you co-authored with this Taichung University. Right, so the 70 papers, and these are the authors. Right, so these are all the authors that contributed to the 70 papers. You can also look at the breakdown by the sources where they are publishing their papers, right? right? So these are the different sources that they are publishing their papers. And then for that 70 papers that you collaborated with this Taichung University, you can also have a look at the breakdown by the different subject area, right? So you collaborate with them a lot in natural sciences. 35 papers with under engineering, right? So this will be the field weighted citation impact. So you can see that the collaboration between you and Taichung University, right, actually yielded pretty high field weighted citation impact, except for social sciences and management. And of course, you want to analyze further, you can look at the breakdown by the subdiscipline, right? So within social sciences and management, statistics and operational research, there were 2 papers, 9 citations, right? Okay, so this is how you export the papers and save it as a publication set. That's why you will come to this, right? Let me go back to the collaboration module. So besides telling you which are the universities you collaborate with a lot, SciVal is also able to pick up, although you have collaborated with researchers in Taichung University, who else within Taichung University have you not collaborated with, right? Right, so you can see you collaborated a lot with this Taichung University. So 70 papers. And these are the current co-authors from your university as well as from Taichung University. And then we also tell you potentially who else in Taichung University, right, who produces a lot of papers, who are very active with high number of citations, but you have never co-authored a paper with. So this is actually quite a simple view and quick way to find collaborators, right? So you already have an MOU with Taichung University, I believe, right? So who else within Taichung University, right, that are really active, high number of citations, but you have never co-authored a paper with them? Same thing, if I like this to be in a report, I can add to reporting and save it. Okay, so this will be the analysis at the university level, right? So you collaborate with them. Who else within the university you can collaborate with? Right at the top, you have the option to filter by regions and countries. Okay, so let's say if your president is going to a particular country, let's say in let's say Philippines, for example, right? So he is able to filter. So who have we worked with in Philippines? Who else can we work with within the Philippines? That was current collaboration, right? So we also tell you which other universities or institutions around the world that you have never co-authored a paper with. So it'll be easier if we go to the table view, right? Okay, so you can see there are 22,000 institutions around the world whom you have never co-authored a paper with, right? And same thing, if I'm only interested in looking for collaborators in engineering and technology, right? So I select the subject area. It will give you the list of universities around the world or institutions around the world that produces the most number of papers categorized as engineering. And let's say if your president is going to somewhere in North America, for example, or South America, right? They want to find out who else can we work with within South America, right? So these are the universities in South America. And let's say if we're looking for corporate collaboration, right? So just filter by the sector, right? And then it will show you the list of institutions or corporate companies around in South America who are very active in engineering and produces papers in engineering. Okay, any problems with this one? No problems with the module, then I will go on to the last module, which is trends module. So the trends module earlier on, when I click onto particular topic clusters or topics, right, it will automatically be added to my list. You can see from here. So it will be added to my list. So it will be easier for you to refer to the next time you log in. And if you want to add it to, because as you can see, I have a lot of topic clusters that I've added here and topics, right? If you want certain topics to appear at the top of your list, just click on the star button. The star button will add it right to the top as your favorites. Right, so these are predefined topics and topic clusters. If you think that none of these actually are topics that you're looking for, and you want to create your own research area, right, you also have the option to do so. So just go to the left panel, click under research area, and then add new right at the bottom. Right, so you can define your own research area. You can do so using search terms, keywords, right? Or you can use entities or topics. So you can add different topics together and then define your own research area. Let me show you again how it's being done. Go to research areas, and then at the bottom, add new. And then you define your new research area. Okay. So within the trends module, yeah, you can actually do further analysis, right? So institutions, authors, as what we had done earlier. So besides saving publication set from SciVal, if you go to Scopus, right? Scopus, you can also save a set of publications and then export it to SciVal. Right, so when you have done your search, right, in Scopus, just click on the all and then export. So over here, you can see I can actually export it to SciVal for analysis. Okay, so these two platforms can actually work interoperably, right? So from one platform, I can actually port over to the other platform. Okay, so these are the 4 modules overview, right? So for you to understand what's happening around the world, what's happening within your university, or even down to what a particular researcher is doing. Then we have the benchmarking. So benchmarking is for you to compare yourselves or compare researchers against researchers or compare countries to countries. Collaboration module is more of looking at who you have co-author papers with and potentially who else you can co-author papers with. And then the trends module is to analyze trends, right? So particular trends, who are the universities, who are the researchers. And then the last part would be the reporting feature. So if you are somebody within the organization who produces a lot of reports for your administrators, right? So this is where you can create reports easily on the fly. Okay, so earlier on, I actually added all these views that I wanted to add to a report. So they are actually appearing here on my list, right? So what you have to do, just click on Create New, create a report. And then you can add in all these analyzers that I've added earlier on. So you can see that within the report, it will show exactly as per what is found in SciVal, right? Okay, so if you're happy with this report, you can save it. You can save the report. And it will appear in your list, right? So if you want to share it with people, you can actually key in their emails and it will send this report to the particular user. You can even decide whether you want them to view it or edit it. But of course, that person must have access to SciVal before they can actually view the report. Okay, let me do it again. Right, so this will be the report that you have created. You can edit it, right? You can also share it. So sharing it with individuals, or you can share it with a list of people. Right, so if you have created a list of people, you can share it with that list of people. Okay, so this is, I think more or less I've covered everything that you need to know. Are there any reports that you currently create or any questions regarding whatever that you need to address? Let's say, for example, if you are into your ranking office, right? Are there any questions that you hope SciVal can help to address, right? Are there any particular information that you think is really important to you and I have not covered in my training that you maybe would want to find out how I can extract that data? Then you can actually ask me now and I will try to show you how it can be done.
So how to create group for faculties, like do ranking from what compare and group for others. They would like to see the pictures of the faculties of their own faculties.
Okay.
Composition.
For that one, our sender will work with them to import the structure into SciVal. But I can show them how to do it. I think I have a question on how I can import a group of researchers under a particular department or faculty, right? So that can be done by clicking the researchers and groups, right? And then you add new. And you can import researchers. So for this part, my consultant will actually work with your university, right, to fill up this form here. So there is a template because we only have names of researchers. We do not know which department they are from. So my consultant will work with you, right, to gather that information, and then we will import that into SciVal. So there is a template here, right? Just click on the CSV file or XLS, whichever suits you, right? And then a file will be downloaded here. So this would be the template for you to fill up, right? So you can actually, you need to fill up the author names, right? The most important will be the author names, right? If you have their Scopus ID, it will also be very useful, right? So just fill up the Scopus author ID. And then we have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, right? So level 1 probably will be your university name. Level 2 will be the faculty, right? Level 3 will be the department, right? So once you fill all this up, then you can easily import all this data into SciVal. Then it will actually be broken down by the faculties and the departments. Okay, let me show you how to do it again. All right, so after you have filled up that Excel sheet, this is where you can upload the Excel sheet, right? You can drag and drop or just click to upload. So first go to researchers and groups, add new, and import researchers, right? Download the CSV file, fill it up, and then you can upload it here. Anything else you want me to show you again? Anything else?
Starting route to Stanford International University. Proceed to the route, then turn right.
Okay.
They have no issue. They will close and they will for this that the person that need to will be Dr. Wanuli. Dr. Wanuli is in Japan now. She will come back and then I will ask her to coordinate with Alexander.
Yeah,
to
okay.
import it.
Okay. Okay, so if nothing else, thank you very much for attending the session. Yeah, hope everybody have a good day ahead. Don't worry, because if you feel that you have missed out anything, we can always schedule another training session. Maybe sometime next quarter.
Yes.
Yeah,